What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and I got some interesting videos to show you today. First one is going to be in regards to Silicon Valley Bank, and I think this hearing is going to be good for you guys to hear. There is another one I want to show with Janet Yellen, but that one's like 4+ minutes long. Well, I guess I could show it. I've shown longer videos than that, but it's the back and forth. I think I might have shown like a piece of it, but it's interesting. Like I said, I think if they're trying to move to a CBDC system, but with America, the way it's structured and the people, and our foundation as a country was against tyrannical central banking, and so you have to only introduce it in a crisis because there's no way the American people would accept it just by brute force as things stand right now. You need a bigger crisis in order to introduce those. So what they're trying to do is destroy the fiat system. And when that fiat system comes crashing down, you enter this new monetary system. Doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, I don't think it necessarily means that, the America is going to lose its sovereignty. And so, and a lot of people would disagree with me, but I don't think that will happen. I think everyone's in coordination to try to introduce this new monetary system that will be worldwide, right? And it'll bring an easy way of tracking and tracing every individual. So take a look at what happened with Silicon Valley Bank, which all you guys already know. But it's interesting because I think they're trying to nationalize banks, and if they don't nationalize them, they're trying to bring in all these small banks into these bigger banks because it'll be a lot easier to implement something like a CBDC coming from these bigger banks because they hold a larger market share of the entire economy. And so you dwindle down the amount of players and you end up with a situation where you're able to more easily control how you want to implement things. So anyways, let's watch this clip.
It's worth noting that these two institutions were allowed to fail.
How poorly managed was this bank?
Supervisors had rated the bank at a very low rating. Normally, we would not be describing these matters, confidential matters, but given that the firm failed and triggered a systemic risk determination, I'm prepared to talk about that confidential information. That the firm was rated a 3 in the Campbell scale, which is not well managed. And at the holding company level, it was rated deficient, which is also clearly not well managed.
You didn't stress test Silicon Valley Bank, did you?
No, under the Federal Reserve Board's rules that were put in place for the transition into the stress testing, it takes a while for a firm to be considered above the threshold. Yeah. They need to have a rolling 4-quarter average.
Did you stress test Silicon Valley Bank in 2022?
No.
So they said no. And I think, folks, there's a lot of talk, and there was a report that came out that apparently there was a $13.3 billion worth of money from Chinese investors in that bank. Now, whether that is the case or not, and having to do with, Biden and co bailing that bank out, and also apparently Governor Newsom also had money in there, I don't know. But a lot of stuff happened, and I think you're starting to see cracks in the system, and those cracks are becoming more and more evident. And as time goes on, you're going to see these types of scenarios become, or these types of quote unquote cracks in the system become more common and more often, right? And it'll be happening from months to month to weeks to days as events start rolling out. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.